Good day. I prepared a short presentation on the Imperial Ethiopian army to the intention of our friends Damon Stith and his group of African and Ethiopian military reconstructions. So, in antiquity, Aksum was a world power. They built the archetype or prototype of the medieval castle, and they were essentially a sea trading power. This is Cosmas Indicopleutes, a Greek trader, that reports in his Cosmographia Christiana two figures of the Aksumite army, whom he saw embarking in Adulis in 525 of the present year, 1,500 years ago. In fact, we have proof that from Greek sources that Ethiopians, which could have been actually also Southern Sudanese, by the knowledge of the epoch, were enrolled in the Achaemenid army since antiquity. But in the Middle Ages, Solomonic might produced mighty castles, which we still see around Addis Ababa in the 14 and 1500s. And in the coeval period, in Tia, stele represented the swords of the period. In fact, these were funerary stele, and people were found buried under it by Francis and Frey. Blensiged, Ras of the Sere, was using in the coeval period the same sort of sword, which should have been, we guess, made of iron. The best broken fallen stele in Tia actually represents a good dozen or a couple of dozen of these very old swords, whilst in the Lalibela 1300s Bieta Mariam frontispiece we have, or facade, we have horsemen, much as we have in more modern era, with more or less the same spears and apparel. I'm actually here to present something more on those arms, in particular the shotel, the grade, and the safe. The first is a bent, peculiar Abyssinian kind of sword, Muslim sword, so the Adel Empire of the Fat Sultanates. This is in fact a gorade, or straighter sword. The preceding one from visiting Lefebvre in the 1840s was actually a shotel. And here we have shotel and gorade of different forms, of different measures. They've actually been in use until pretty recently, and the military that defeated the Italians at Adwa were using both the full curve shotel, which was in a way devised or invented for horsemen, and in particular to be able to hit behind or at the back of, here you see one particularly well formed and particularly curved, I was saying at the back of the gasha, or at the back of a shield. The Muslim camp instead had the saif. The saif was a straight sword which can still be found in antiquities and still used during the parades in Arar during the Mount Akim feasts. There's a set of saif, gorade, and not really a shotel here. In fact, the caption reads in Amharic, gorade watch, different kinds of gorade, while this is a particular gorade owned by Menelik himself, apparently, or by one of his dignitaries, from the book I quote and mention here, where I've taken most of my images, the now ready, under printing, book The Imperial Ethiopian Army by Professor Enrico Bossi-Wiesel. In the age of Haile Selassie, were a set of arms, which can still be found in museums and actually on eBay, if you like, which have precious details of the Shon kingdom. And this is warrior of the time of Theodoros, so actually from northern Ethiopia, taken by Voyager Bianchi. It is actually a reproduction of an illustration of the London illustrated in the late 1860s, after or during the Magdala expedition, when Queen Victoria spent enormous amounts of money. In fact, she created even a tuppenny tax on every pint of whiskey, which made the crown very rich. to combat Emperor Theodorus. I'm actually only to present a few weapons and not go into the detail. This is probably more modern weapon used against the Italians in 35 with one of those thaler or Maria Teresa birr, used until very recently as currency in Ethiopia. This is Ras Makonnen himself, the father of Ras Tefari Makonnen, or Haile Selassie, in full apparel with a shottel, or mildly curved shottel, which is represented also here. This is a shottel, in a couple of shottel held by two warriors, probably from Tigray, from the kind of Isis I see behind, while we see on these two gorades, on these three gorades, three writings: Kiddus Georgis, Minlik, and Yejegna Gorade, translated below. And we have in this other slide a set of armory from Haile Selassie of Showa or Melik's time, whilst these are Kaskara. These are swords from neighboring southern Sudan, which are actually used in Ethiopia too, from illustrations Dr. Bossi presents, while this is a typical southern Sudanese or perhaps even North Gondar armory, a particularly good example of it. We must say that Gorade, Chotel, at least, I'm not sure about safe, were produced by Winchester Swords in England for the Abyssinian market, and they had a whole nice catalogue which Professor Bossi Wiesel presents. There were also not only Ethiopian, let's say Amhara, Tigray, or Oromo swords, but even neighboring Somali and Sudanese weapons used during the different occupation wars in Ethiopia. Milik notably defeated the Italians using also swords and not just hundreds of thousands of rifles. But look at this camp. Milik had a camp which was a replica of his tented Toto camp, which is seen earlier, and it was made in such a way because every Fitauraria, the Kenyachimas, had a position. So it was definitely different from the castles, the medieval castle, which we still find in Toto, and which we could use now to represent rather medieval reconstructions. Thanks for your attention. I really hope one day we can do something together. I'd love to show you the Toto castle, for example. Here it is for you.